contact ones. Contact Alchemist, Armorer's Apprentice, blah 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 blah. These all give a 5% chance of receiving a free item every week. I don't know how good these are because I don't know if you can get magic items out of them or not, or if you can get better quality items out of them or not. So I haven't picked any of them yet, but I might give it a shot. I mean, the weeks pass by pretty slowly. I think a week is 8 days. They pass by pretty slowly because each mission usually takes about an hour to play out. In my Sisters of Sigmar game, I think my group is only in like week 4. So it's not really come up very much. But maybe I'll put a point in one just to see how it works out. In which case I'm going to go with a Great Weaponsmith because a free two-handed weapon... well, actually, come to think of it, let me see. The leader can use most of the two-handed weapons. The Dark Soul uses the two-handed weapons. The mutant can go 1 or 2. You know what? Maybe I'll go Boyer. Getting better weapons for my brethren early might not be bad. Yeah, we'll go Boyer. You have a lot of people who use bows. Why not? Yeah, I just did that. That was the thought process that I tracked there. What's the Armorer's Apprentice? Shield or helm? Actually, that's pretty good too. You know what? I'm going to take 2 of these. I'm going to go with the Armorer's Apprentice as well. Not so much for the shields, but for the helms. Helms reduce the chance of a character being stunned when they're hit, so having everybody getting a helm is huge, and magical helms, of course, are even better. Okay, now that I've done the veteran points, I'm going to jump into the campaign here. Visit the campaign screen to select a mission for your warband to undertake. Missions are randomly generated and contain varying levels of wordstone and treasure. You may send scouts to reveal more potential mission locations to expand your choices. You may only attempt 1 mission per day regardless of success or failure. Occasionally, you will receive a mission request from your faction. These are unique missions that advance the story and contain specific objectives. By the way, the faction missions are long and hard. And by that I mean extended time and difficult. I should remember who's in my chat channel here. So there are, I want to say 3 mission icons available on the map, but there might be 4. These ones here are called Wordstone Rush missions. The primary objective of this is to gather as much Wordstone as possible, with the secondary objective of defeating your opponents. The Skull one, marked for death, the primary part, I think marked for death is the one where the primary objective is to defeat certain heroes on the map and collect an item from their body, I think. And Crush Their Will is the one where it's just plain old defeat all of the enemies. But it might be the other way around. Now in all cases, it indicates the possible level of Weirdstone and other loot. If you look below the difficulty and the type, there you'll see average and very poor. The one on the left is the rough level of Weirdstone on the map, and the one on the right is the rough level of other loot on the map. I think of the 3, this one here is going to be the one I go with. It's normal difficulty. I got to defeat all the bad guys, so I might as well just make that my primary objective. And there's an average level of Weirdstone on the map. Now, there's also how to put this. There's setup options as well. If you look at the little blurb below each one, like on here, actually we'll do this. This is what I'm going to do. One warband deploys tightly around its wagon while the other divides into 3 strike teams, and that influences the setup of the map. It'll randomly determine which side is which, and then when you're deploying, you have to deploy in that particular sort of setup, obviously. There's actually quite a variance in that. I think it's the one with the most variance. This one here is one that I hate the most, I think. Both warbands are scattered randomly around the area, scared by something. You don't even get to choose your setup in this. It randomly just throws your miniatures on the map, and where they end up is where they end up. You can end up beside an enemy, for example. This one warband is called Exploring Buildings, while the other deploys around its wagon. One of the warbands starts inside various buildings, while the other one starts by its wagon. Every warband has a wagon. That's where you store all the loot that you get. The wagons also have a totem on it that you can pray to gain a bonus of some sort. When you select which mission you're going to go on, it gives you the option of changing up your soldiers from the main warband to the reserves. I don't have any reserves, so I'm just going to go ahead. Launch and deploy allows me to set up where I want.
A spy has reported that an enemy warband is hurrying to recover a secret cache of equipment in the area. With this information, you are able to beat them to the location and deploy patrols to watch for the enemy's arrival.
Okay, so in this particular instance, it was randomly determined that I'm the one that splits up into 3 groups. Now, because I get to choose where I'm deploying my guys, I could actually deploy them in 2 groups. I don't think I can deploy them in 1 group, though, because it's generally set up so that there's a maximum of 4 at any one position. I'll show you on the map here in a moment. Okay, so this is the main play area. It kind of has a bit of an XCOM feel to it, if you've played XCOM. If not, well, it's a turn-based strategy game, third person, but you can actually, can you zoom all the way in? No. So third person, 3D, you can rotate in all directions. You can only scroll out a limited amount, and in some games that would annoy me, but in this game I think it really helps the aesthetic of the game. Mordheim was a city hit by a comet, and the comet contained lots of wordstone, which is kind of like, in the game it's a corrupting chaos stone, but you could probably kind of call it like a radioactive stone, because it kind of does a lot of the things radiation seems to do. And so the city fell into, as you can see, ruins. It was one of the most populated cities in the Empire before this happened, so it's huge. And now it's corrupted by chaos, and it's corrupted by the Skaven and the undead, although you can't play the undead in this game yet. Yeah, the aesthetic of the city itself is really awesome. The darkness, the mist, the shadows, the way everything is in disrepair, it looks gorgeous. Unfortunately, the animations of the game are really, really awful. I think that might be one of the biggest downfalls. The animations themselves, as well as the speed at which the animations take place, and you will see that in time. Okay. Yeah, okay, so as I said, I was going to show you on the map how the deployment works. So this is the strategy map. You can oversee the whole area that the match takes place in. You can't see enemies unless you have a line of sight to them, so it's double blind, which I love. Except that it does show you where the enemy's wagon is. The Ravenous Scavengers, they are Skaven. This could be tough because the Skaven are kind of OP in this game, and the AI-controlled Skaven are even more OP. Because for quote-unquote balance purposes, because the AI sucks, the AI characters get more hit points, and Skaven with more hit points are just really, really savage. So, where's my guy right now? Okay, so this here is my main setup area. This here's my wagon. As you can see, there's 4 setup slots in this area here. There are 3 up here. There are 3 down here. So this forces you to split up into at least 2 groups. If I had 6 guys, I probably would split up into 3 groups of 2. But as since I don't have that many people, I only have 5. I'm going to go with a group of 3 and a group of 2. I would go with a whole group of 1 if I could, just because all my guys are level 0. Unfortunately, I can't. And the enemies were all by their wagon, so they'll be kind of in this area here. But because they're Skaven, they're going to be really, really fast, and they'll be able to get to me very quickly. So I want to make sure that my 2 groups are close enough to each other that they can support each other in battle. So probably best bet would be to set up down here and right over here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my Magister and my Mutant over here. The Magister because he's the toughest, he's got the most hit points, the highest leadership, and the Mutant because he has a chance of parrying. So let's move over there. I don't think that's it. Oh, no, that is it. No, that isn't it. Unfortunately, you can't move and deploy on this map. You have to go to this map and then scroll through each deployment spot. That's one thing that's really kind of irritating. So I'm going to deploy the Magister there, and the Mutant I will deploy here, and then everybody else will be deployed over here. Okay. There and there. Now, the Skaven are also really fast. If you'll notice up at the top, the initiative order, the Skaven get 4 moves before any of my guys get to move, which is pretty bad. They could, theoretically, if one of them finds my Magister group, they could theoretically have all 4 of their Skaven move in on me and attack me. I'm hoping that won't happen, because that's just unfair. I hate playing against the Skaven. They're, oh my god, they're OP. Like, I don't even want to play them because they're too easy to play, basically. I actually am not sure how the cultists play. I've played them a little bit, but I think I maybe got my guys to maybe rank 1, and that was about it. My sister's the Sigmar group. My Warband level is 5. And my highest level, my average character level is probably about 4.5. So I've got a lot more experience with them. Continue! Hi! Thank you for coming. Okay, my turn. So, like I said, I want to kind of keep my guys close together to support them, to support each other. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these 2 guys move through this building to this corridor area and have these guys swoop around. I'll see if I can pick up this bit of salvage here and then grab this wordstone here. I may send one person over to try and grab this wordstone here as well. Hey Zeke, welcome to my channel. Well, actually you've been here lots. Welcome to Mordheim is more what I meant to say. How are you guys doing? Okay, sorry. I'm getting distracted by chat here. Yeah, so let's move through. Now, the cool thing is moving the characters around is real time. It's not square-based or hex-based like a lot of tactical games. You can actually just move in whatever direction you want. The big blue circle indicates how far the character can move for each blue dot that they have. The blue dots down on the bottom there, underneath the green bar. Those are the strategy points. Each movement, each big circle of movement is 1 strategy point. The red ones, which are often called red pills in YouTube videos of this game, are combat or attack points, I think. And various combat-oriented actions use those up, like attacking, casting spells, drawing a different weapon, and so on. Okay, Angel, we'll be here.